The Chicago Electrical Inspector exam follows the Chicago Electrical Code, or SEC. This code may differ from the National Electrical Code, or NEC, in some areas. When studying for the exam, focus on the following sections of the CEC. Firstly, general provisions. Secondly, wiring methods and materials. Thirdly, equipment and installation. Fourthly, special occupancies and equipment. Fifthly, administration and enforcement. The test consists of 175 multiple-choice questions. You have a 4-hour time limit to complete the exam. Here are some helpful tips to keep in mind. Study thoroughly. Review the CEC, paying close attention to definitions, rules, and exceptions. Understand the differences between the NEC and the CEC. Familiarize yourself with any unique requirements or interpretations in the CEC. Practice with mock tests. Take practice exams to identify your strengths and areas for improvement. Bring a codebook. You are allowed to reference the CEC during the exam. Manage your time wisely. Divide the exam into sections and allocate time accordingly. Read questions carefully. Make sure you understand the question and all answer options. Eliminate incorrect choices. If you can eliminate one or more incorrect options, your chances of guessing the correct answer increase. Study the CEC errata. The CEC is updated regularly, so check for errata or amendments that may be relevant. Consider taking a course. Instructor-led courses can provide guidance and clarify complex topics. Be prepared for high-level questions. The CEC for Chicago is known to be more comprehensive than the NEC, so expect questions that cover advanced concepts. Take breaks. Step away from the exam periodically to clear your head and regain focus. It's important to deeply understand the general provisions which lay the groundwork for the entire code. This section establishes the scope, definitions, and general rules that apply throughout the CEC. Pay close attention to how terms are defined, as these definitions are crucial for interpreting the code accurately. Familiarize yourself with the organizational structure of the CEC and how different articles relate to each other. The wiring methods and materials section is also critical. This section covers the approved methods for installing electrical conductors and the types of materials that are permitted for different applications. Know the requirements for cable types such as non-metallic sheath cable, or NM cable, armored cable or AC cable, and underground feeder, or UF cable. Understand the ampacity ratings of different conductors and the rules for directing conductors in various conditions according to the tables found in the CEC, such as Table 310.15b16. Be familiar with the requirements for conduit, including types, sizes, and supports. The equipment and installation section deals with the proper installation of electrical equipment, such as panels, overcurrent protection devices, and lighting fixtures. Study the requirements for grounding and bonding, as these are essential for safety. Understand the rules for installing equipment in different locations, such as wet or hazardous locations. Pay close attention to the requirements for overcurrent protection, including the selection and installation of circuit breakers and fuses. The special occupancies and equipment section addresses the unique requirements for specific types of occupancies and equipment, such as healthcare facilities, hazardous locations, and swimming pools. Understand the specific rules that apply to these areas, as they often differ significantly from general requirements. For example, be familiar with the grounding and bonding requirements for swimming pools and the types of equipment that are permitted in hazardous locations. The administration and enforcement section outlines the roles and responsibilities of the electrical inspector and the procedures for enforcing the code. Understand the process for obtaining permits, conducting inspections, and resolving violations. Be familiar with the administrative requirements of the CEC, as these can vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. When preparing for the exam, pay special attention to the differences between the NEC and the CEC. While the CEC is based on the NEC, it often includes additional requirements or modifications to address local conditions or concerns. For example, the CEC may have stricter requirements for wiring in high-rise buildings or specific rules for the installation of renewable energy systems. Make sure you understand these differences and are prepared to answer questions based on the CEC. Practicing with mock tests is an essential part of preparing for the exam. Mock tests can help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, familiarize yourself with the format of the exam, and improve your time management skills. Look for practice exams that are specifically designed for the Chicago Electrical Inspector exam. Take the practice exams under timed conditions to simulate the actual exam environment. Review your answers carefully and identify any areas where you need to improve. Bringing a codebook to the exam is essential, as you will be allowed to reference the CC during the exam. Make sure you have a current copy of the CC and that you are familiar with its organization and contents. Tab important sections of the codebook so you can quickly find them during the exam. Practice using the codebook to answer questions during your practice exams. Effective time management is crucial for success on the exam. With 175 multiple-choice questions and a 4-hour time limit, you will need to pace yourself carefully. Divide the exam into sections and allocate a specific amount of time for each section. For example, you might allocate 30 minutes for the general provisions section, 60 minutes for the wiring methods and materials section, and so on. Keep track of your time as you work through the exam and adjust your pace as needed. If you find yourself spending too much time on a particular question, move on and come back to it later. Read each question carefully and make sure you understand what is being asked. Pay attention to keywords and phrases that can help you identify the correct answer. For example, if a question asks about the requirements for a specific type of equipment, look for those keywords in the answer options. If you are unsure of the correct answer, try to eliminate incorrect choices. Even if you can only eliminate 1 or 2 incorrect options, you will increase your chances of guessing the correct answer. Look for answer options that are obviously wrong or that contradict your understanding of the code. The CEC is updated regularly, so it is important to check for errata or amendments that may be relevant to the exam. Errata are corrections to errors in the code book, while amendments are changes to the code that have been adopted by the local jurisdiction. Check the Chicago Department of Buildings website for any errata or amendments that have been issued since the publication of the code book. Consider taking a course specifically designed to prepare you for the Chicago Electrical Inspector exam. These courses can provide valuable guidance and clarify complex topics. Look for courses that are taught by experienced instructors who are familiar with the CEC and the exam. The CEC for Chicago is known to be more comprehensive than the NEC, so you should expect questions that cover advanced concepts. Be prepared to answer questions on topics such as motor controls, transformers, and generators. Study these topics thoroughly and make sure you understand the underlying principles. Taking breaks during the exam can help you clear your head and regain focus. Step away from your desk for a few minutes to stretch, walk around, or just close your eyes and relax. Avoid looking at your phone or talking to other test takers, as this can be distracting. Remember to stay calm and focused throughout the exam. With thorough preparation and effective test-taking strategies, you can increase your chances of success. The CEC is available for purchase through the Chicago Department of Buildings. The exam is administered by the Chicago Department of Buildings at their office.